Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to The Sims 4 and welcome to some beach boxes. We're doing a Sims build today and we're doing beach boxes. What is a beach box, Amanda? Very good question. I'm not super well versed on them, but I was watching an Australian YouTuber and she was explaining that on a lot of their beaches they have these little like shed things that families will either own, or maybe it'll be like an Airbnb or like a rental situation, and they're just literally little 1 or maybe 2 room kind of shacks almost, but very cute, right up on the beach, where some people store like beach equipment like maybe paddle boards or floaties. Some people turn them into little living spaces to get out of the sun and be able to spend a beach day if maybe like they can't be in the sun the whole time, things like that. And I really thought that was a cute idea. So what I decided to do was do a bunch of rainbow beach boxes or little beach huts here in Zulani. And I thought it would be a really cute idea to do them kind of like set up like you could rent one. Because with the new Getaways, which I haven't played with a lot, unfortunately, the pack came out and I was so excited and I just haven't had time to play with it yet. And this was actually built before the pack came out and then got left in drafts. I know, fantastic. It got built like shortly after we found out about Getaways and custom venues. But I thought these would be a really cool custom venue because you could have your Sims come do a getaway here, and the getaway could do like all kinds of beach things, and then each of your getaway Sims could have like an assigned beach box. And I thought that was kind of a fun idea, and each beach box is themed by their color. Some colors were way harder than others, and we just go down the sort of Roy G. Biv. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I don't know if it's a universal thing, at least in the United States. When we're taught like our basic rainbow colors, we're taught the acronym Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Roy G. Biv, that's the name of the rainbow. I don't know why, but that's what we're taught. However, in The Sims, obviously indigo and violet are kind of like nicher colors or fancier names for basically purple and pink. So we just went ahead and did red, orange, yellow, green, blue, pink, and purple, or purple and pink, I think is the order in which we went, which made me realize how interesting some of the colors are in The Sims 4, right? Because, for example, with this red, a lot of our reds in The Sims, it turns out, are very cool toned reds. Otherwise, they're very orange. Like, there's not like a very true warm toned red in a lot of things. If we have a warm toned red, it leans very orange very quickly, which was a bit of a struggle because obviously we had an orange beach box we needed to do next, which similarly, I had a similar problem with orange leaning very red, and I was like, man, I need these two to be differentiated. So I tried to go with more like bright and like blue undertoned reds, and like some of the beach boxes are very much their color, and some of them are more like accented in their color. So the red in this case, it'll get more red as we go. Red was obviously like figuring it out, right? Like the red box was the first box we did, so obviously we're like, it takes a little while to get red, because at first I was like, I don't want them to be like super colorful, I just want them to be accented in their color. And then as we went on, I was like, no, I think it's more fun to have them be like very clearly their color inside and out without being like completely tacky. Although I will admit some of them verge on tacky, but like in like a fun way, you know. So this red box definitely starts a lot more like white with red accents, and then gets more red. Some of them you can tell like with the purple and the I believe it's the green box, are definitely a little bit more white with their colored accents, because it was hard to find like matching tones or tones that like played nice together, things like that. And you'll see like red continues to get more and more red as we go. But do you see all of like the very cool tones in here? And even like with the rug starts leaning more warm toned, and it's almost dangerously orange in some cases. That might also be my monitor. Like it's gonna read different to everyone on like your phone might read it differently, this video, than maybe like your computer would. That's the joy of like digital media, I suppose. But it was interesting to kind of like walk that line between orange and red with these first few boxes, and it made me realize like, oh my goodness, this might be a little bit more difficult than I thought. And then like yellow lulled me into a full sense of security. Green wasn't too bad if I recall, and then like blue obviously was like blue. The Sims team loves blue, which is funny because their plum bob is green, so you would think green would be their color. And for a long time I feel like Sims was very synonymous with green, Although in recent, like more recently, I was going to say in recent years, I don't know, has it been a year? I don't think it's been, maybe it's been a year. When they started doing some of the refreshes have gone progressively more blue. It's been several years since like the first one, but like as they've changed the home screen, as they've changed the maps and stuff, it definitely has leaned more blue. The Sims team has a deep love of blue. At least the Sims 4 team. Although actually, one could argue that they've had that for a while, because I was thinking about like Sims 3 loading menus, I believe it was. Those are pretty blue. So something to consider. I definitely tried to always pick a really fun tile where I could in the bathrooms, but because the bathrooms are so small and this is something I want to be playable, and I did play test this and it all seems to work, because I wanted the bathrooms to be playable, the bathrooms are usually pretty bright, but I tried to still make sure they were like not unpleasant to look at in terms of brightness, because I didn't want a situation where like you couldn't see what you were doing in the bathroom. I still wanted it to be usable to the player just as much as the sim. So you'll notice as we go on, like some of them have bright floor colors, but maybe are a little bit quieter in their wall tiles. Maybe they're all the color of their room, but like it's like a singular monochrome color, things like that. Or maybe they have an accent tile on the wall. The bathrooms are very, very small. The bathrooms also do work. I know it looks like they don't. And if you haven't seen a bathroom like this before, you're going to be like, what on earth? They use one of the more modular shower systems. We've gotten them in a few packs. I believe the one I'm using might be Sleek Bathroom. But we also got one from Discovery University. I feel like we got one from Snowy Escape. And I feel like there's another pack that has one, and I'm blanking on which one it is. But basically all it is the shower head and the like little knobbies without a shower surround, which means you can build your own shower, which is super duper cool. It means you can make like some of those big fancy like mansion showers and all that. You can maybe make like an outdoor shower that isn't quite as stylized as some of the other ones. Or in our case, it means you can make a wet bath. And a wet bath is basically just the entire room is a shower, but it also has a toilet and a sink in it. And in the case of the Sims, because they are not surrounded, it is just the knobs and the shower head. Your Sim can walk over the top of it like it is a floor tile, which means in the case of our little 3x1 bathrooms here, that door will work because they can just open into the shower, walk in, walk past it, use the restroom, wash their hands and walk back out, or they can walk in, close the door, and use the shower itself. Yeah, I believe that particular shower is from the Sleek Bathroom Kit, which if you want a modular shower like that is, I believe, the cheapest way to get one. The Sleek Bathroom Kit. And honestly, look, I'm not in love with the idea of kits, but I am in love with the creator kits and how that basically allows us to have like EA sanctioned CC, right? Like CC that you know isn't going to break your game. And the Sleek Bathroom Kit is a phenomenal kit. It was a creator kit, and it is a phenomenal addition to the game. I use it constantly. It has so many good pieces, so many useful pieces even outside the bathroom. So like super awesome. Here I started going back and forth. Here you can see I'm adding a little bit to the red room because I decided on a few things I wanted to be universal across the beach boxes. I wanted a statement wall in each of the main spaces with their color. This is when I started really leaning into the color thing. I wanted the same layout because I was imagining it was like a rental company probably renting these, or like a family owned situation, you know? So this is where I really started deciding. I was like, I want the table in the same place, but the table can change. I want the chair in the same place, but the chair can change. Bed in the same place, but the bed can change. You know, that kind of thing. I want those same cute little shelves up there, but the decor can change. Each beach box has a mini fridge and a microwave. So I believe you can make quick meals. However, it does not have a counter. So I don't think that matters for the microwave, but it does mean your sim won't be able to make anything that requires a counter. There is a full kitchen on lot, though. I did include a full kitchen on lot. There is also a woohoo cabinet on lot because there are obviously only single beds here. So, you know, there is opportunities here. I made sure the basic needs were met. Here in this yellow bathroom, this is what I was talking about, where like the more wild tile is still very monochrome because it is a soft butter yellow. It is not as bright on the eyes and you can still see all your stuff without getting like wild child stuff happening. So that bathroom's a little bit brighter. Oh, and I did try to put at least one thing out in front of each beach box in its associated color. That's not to say the other units can't have use of those things, but like I tried to put, like, obviously you saw there a bike or an artist stand. Easel. There we go. I'm so sorry. You could hear the short circuit, right? Could you physically hear it? Because like I could, I swear. Here on the green, and here's like this green fought me a little bit because I went mint, and there is a lot of good mint in the game, but you have to kind of hunt for it. So there's a lot of white in this build to try to help with the mint, make sure, because there's also a couple warm greens. Not as much warm green as I would love. I love a good like warm green. And then there was a few places too where like the bed had an accent color, and I did occasionally try to pull that a little bit. So like you might see me here pull a little bit of the gray and the yellow in, just so that the pillows didn't look out of place. I do that in a couple of these, you'll notice throughout, where it's like, oh, this bed is predominantly red, but there's a little bit of brown, so I made sure the accents kind of leaned brown too, so that it didn't seem out of place, that kind of thing. Just because I did want them to be cute. I wanted them to be their color, but not at the expense of being cute. And again, the same layout in the bathroom. And actually, this really cute sink, I really liked it up until I think it was purple. I think the only one that's white is purple. It had a swatch for every other color, which I was really excited about. Purple really fought us, dude. Purple was by far and away the hardest one. There's just not a lot of purple in this game. And a lot of what this game classifies as purple is like fuchsia. Let's be so for real. It is fuchsia. And I painted the outside this like really cute kind of like dusky lavender. And I was like, I do not want fuchsia elements. Like, I'm sorry. I just don't. So purple, when we get there, is like a full-on battle. And blue, I don't think was like because of a loss, like a lack of options. Blue was almost a struggle because there were so many options, and so we had to decide what kind of blue we wanted. Did we want like cute coastal blue, which makes the most sense, let's be real, or did we want like more of a navy? Oh, also, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I just saw it. Each little beach box has a suitcase. And it does work, and so does the chair. Like, all of that is player tested. But the reason they each have a little suitcase is because that counts as a dresser, so your sim can change. So if you get out here and you're like, oh, I don't like my sim's bathers, or, you know, I want it to look like my sim has like different outfits for every day, or you want to change a different sim on lot, so you swap, you know, families real fast on the getaway or whatever, there is a dresser for each beach box. So each beach box has a full bathroom, a bed, a way to feed your sim, not in the most nutritionally dense or like amazing way, but your sim does have a way to eat. Most of them have something vaguely enriching around them. So like there's something to do on the beach or whatever, but there's like lots of options on Zulani, and all of them have a dresser, as well as obviously the things like lighting and stuff. So like your sim is fully set up. On lot, there is a full kitchen. There is a bookshelf on lot, so your sim can read. There obviously is an easel with the blue one, so there is a way to paint. There is not a computer, but because each unit has its own table, you could bring a laptop and work in the beach box if you wanted to. That's why I was so adamant about having a table, even though technically your sim could eat on their bed. I believe they've been able to do that since like Discovery University. They've been able to eat on their bed. I was pretty adamant about having a table and a chair in each beach box because you can drag out flower pressing, you can drag out journals, you can drag out laptops. I think there might be a bracelet making kit you can drag out. So if your sim comes with their own gear, you have a place to set up and do things. And I was thinking the laptop would be pretty important, because if maybe your writer sim wanted to come out here, or you could do like a whole like writer's getaway, and then all of your sims would come with laptops and be able to write in their beach box, or, you know, out on their little porch or what have you. So that was pretty important to me for that reason. Having said that, if you put your laptop on the table to be used, your sim then I don't think can eat at the table, so they will eat on the bed, which is, you know, neither here nor there. It's up to you how you feel about crumbs in your bed. And yeah, we kind of just glossed over the purple one here a little bit, because let's be real, the purple one here is kind of very white. It's really hard to find non-fuchsia purples, and I was reaching for it. There's a few things in here that are like a little more blue than purple, let's be real. But trying to find that mix where it wasn't like really blue was really difficult, especially with a blue toned purple, and I just didn't want to do the fuchsia. The fuchsia isn't bad, and honestly I'm half tempted to do a build that is like, let's use that fuchsia color as much as possible, but that's gonna take a lot of mental fortitude because that is a bright color. Like middle school Amanda would have dug it. Middle school Amanda would have loved it so much. 29-year-old Amanda is just like, that is a bold color, and we have so much of it in the game. That's why I'm like, I wonder if we could do a build that really leans into it. Yeah, here's where I remembered toilet paper exists, and I should probably put it in the beach boxes. Oops, it's fine. We got there in the end. And technically the Sims don't need it because they don't use it, but like, I don't want to get into the existentialism of not having toilet paper in the beach boxes, so we're just going to pretend. Yeah, with the purple, it got a little crazy, again, trying to find a decent color, and I didn't want to necessarily just do another bike, so I did the bike. So there are 2 bikes on lot if you need them, but I liked the idea of the pool floaty out in the beach, or out in the water. I thought that was kind of fun. And then we hit pink, and we once again had a little bit of a fun issue where it was like, wow, there's actually so much pretty pastel pink. What do I do here? And that is such a fun issue to have. And I did go more of a pastel pink, and I did struggle because all of the things I wanted to use were like a pretty kind of peachy pink, and then the wall is more of like a bluey pink, and so we're just gonna ignore it and pretend they don't clash, and it's okay. We're just gonna ignore it and pretend they don't clash. This one is definitely the most like, feels the most like tiny home-ish. I'm just going back and doing curtains and stuff and all the matching colors. Most of the curtains are pretty dang similar because I put the same windows in every beach box, and there's only so many curtains that fit those beach boxes. And we've talked about this before on this channel. Curtains are, in fact, the bane of my existence. So once I found something that kind of worked, I kind of just was like, let's just keep using them, And they just work so well. Obviously, that's something you can change if you would like. Curtains are, in theory, fairly easy to change out. I just find them infuriating in game. I actually find them infuriating in real life, to be honest with you, because my blinds in my room broke not too terribly long ago, and they are both expensive to fix and unwieldy to fix because it is a very old house, so the window is an odd shape, which is so cool. And so unfortunately, if you were to come into my room right now, my blinds would be like half down because that's as far as they go. They don't stay up, but they don't come all the way down. So I had to custom make these little ties so that I can tie them up so I can have my window open. And then at night I have to undo the ties, lower it halfway down, and then I currently literally have like a piece of poster board and then an Amazon label, like one of those puffy mailers that I shove up where the blinds don't fully close so that it's a fully, my window is closed, no one can see in. It's absurd. I need to just find new blinds, but every time I go looking for them, no one has this odd shape. And then they're like, yes, we can make you custom ones, but they're going to be very expensive, and I just don't So, we listen and we don't judge. I'm just rolling with my weird broken blinds for right now. Here's the full kitchen I was talking about. It is an outdoor kitchen. It is covered. It will be under a cover here, and it is a full suite. It has a stove, a fridge, and a sink. I'm trying to remember, do I put a dishwasher in here? I can't remember. I don't think I do. I should have, though. That would have been nice. It is not a seating bar thing. What's the word? It doesn't have an island or a peninsula on it, but I did put these cute little tables out because I thought those would work, and I didn't really want Sims necessarily butting up to the kitchen to eat all of the time. I wanted that to be more like a specific use. Here I originally had 2 fridges because I liked the idea of a hostel style multiple fridge setup, and then I was like, nah, I don't love how that works, so we do change that out because we end up making a little bit more of a coffee bar situation, which is nice. A little bit cuter, makes a little bit more sense. And here we just did tan so that it matched. And then that little closet is the woohoo closet. It looks like a utility closet, so I thought it made sense because that would be where your trash bags are, your cooking utensils might be if they're not in the cabinets, things like that, obviously, that you would need for a community kitchen. But really what it is, and I know, it is a woohoo spot, which is very exciting. And then I realized the back of these boxes are kind of bland. Also, that we needed mailboxes. And the thing is I was like, really, do we need a mailbox on each of these? Because they're getaways. They're not like a place. So I put one mailbox on lot. And honestly, I don't even know if you need them for a custom venue. But I did put one just in case. I'm not sure why you would need a mailbox, but it's there. Obviously a trash can. Lots of cute little plants and things. Went crazy with some of my favorite ground flowers here because I had the opportunity, so why wouldn't I? Also, I just thought it made the beach boxes ground into their environment a little bit more, so they didn't, because sometimes a Sims build can kind of feel like it just floats on top of the environment, and so I wanted to like fix that a little bit, so I went a little bit crazy with the ground cover. And then I realized the back of the beach boxes still looked a little bit empty, so I ended up putting, here in a minute you'll see, I take the like storage unit thingy from Horse Ranch. It's actually like it's supposed to be a tack box, and I think what it's supposed to mimic is like in my tack room, it would be like a grain bin. You'd put like your grain bins inside it, your like mouse-proof grain bins, and then it would be all covered up, and it would be nice. I've seen those a lot in tack rooms. Some people also use them for tack or like storing blankets and stuff. These things, yeah. So they're very multi-use, and they were created in Horse Ranch to mimic a tack room, which is great. They're very nice. But I made them white and stuck them on the back of the beach boxes because I was like, that would be a great place to lock up your scuba gear. That would be a great place to maybe lock up like life vests. Perhaps maybe you have like a beach umbrella or beach chairs that you don't want to store in the beach hut, so you could lock them up in the back. Things like that. Maybe if you're coming for a long time, there's my test sim. If you're coming for a long time, maybe you bring like multiple luggages and you don't want to necessarily keep your luggages because they're like gonna take up space in the beach box. You could lock them in. That was the story I was telling. So, you could use them for anything. Just don't forget to take your stuff out. And here's the little area I was talking about. There's a food thing there and a bookshelf, a drinks tray is what I was going for. A drinks tray and a bookshelf there. Kind of looks like a little coffee bar. Just kind of cute. Added a little bit of decor. Decided the purple beach box needed something a little bit extra just because other than the clipping there, it looks really nice and it does work. Just because I felt bad because the purple box did feel like the weakest player here. So I was like, maybe they need something cute on their bed just to kind of help. And here in fact are all the screenshots. I think it helps a lot to have those little like bins on the back. Again, I think it kind of grounds them. It's kind of like, oh hey, these would be useful for things. And here's our cute little community lot area. Like, I think it looks like a cute little like community kitchen, right? Like, I think it reads community kitchen. The ceilings are painted. They're not staying painted. I'm having a problem, and I don't know if this is an everyone problem or if this is a me problem. I'm consistently having issues with the ceiling tiles deciding they don't want to be painted anymore. I honest to goodness don't know what to do with that. So just know they are painted. When I try to repaint them, they say nothing to change. They're just not showing painted, and I don't know why. But look, I've been talking your ear off for a while, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave you here with the screenshots. I really like the way this turned out, and I'm really, really excited to turn it into a custom venue and have it be like a fun custom beach getaway. I'm excited to see what all that might be about. It would be a really cool thing to maybe like hire a chef to cook for people too, since we have a community area and all of that. Maybe someone can teach like diving lessons or something. I don't know. There's lots of things to think about. I haven't played with it a whole heck of a lot yet, so I'm excited to jump in. But I'm gonna stop talking your ear off. I hope you're having a great day and you're feeling loved. And if you're not feeling loved, please know that I love you. I'm glad you exist. I'm glad you're here hanging out. You make the world a better place just by being you. Next up, I don't know. I fully lost the plot. I think there's going to be one more event video and then maybe a Minecraft video, question mark. I don't know when this is going. Just know there's lots going on. As we go into wintertime, I'm really hoping to get a Nancy Drew up soon. I've been working on that, so fingers crossed I can actually get it to run consistently so I can record a video. And yeah, I think that's all for me. Okay, love you, bye.